Hi everybody, it's Dr. Lori Dover coming to you from the two Chiros, and behind the camera again we have Dr. Jordan Biot.
Hi guys.
What I'm going to do today is talk to you about buying sneakers or buying walkers, because it can be really daunting. You go into the store and there is a wall of 18 million different colors and sizes and brands. One of the things I'll tell you not to do is don't go in and look at a pair of sneakers and go, oh, I like that color, I'm going to buy those. Don't go by someone's recommendation either, or don't even go by brand. We are all different sizes, we're different shapes, we're different gaits, we have different goals. So you really need to know what you're going to buy before you spend your money. So one of the first things to do is to take a look at your feet. You want to figure out what kind of foot you have. Now I'm just going to move over here and put my foot up on this stool. Now, most people, their feet, they have a flat foot. Now what that means is this arch is collapsed. So I'm going to exaggerate it. It does that. So you'll see there's not much room between the floor and my arch. Now a really flat foot, you can't get two fingers underneath. So have someone in the household come and say, I can't get my fingers underneath your arch very well. That usually means you have a flat foot. Now the opposite of this, and I'm going to try to show it in my foot, is that the arch comes up, it's hard to do, really high anyway. There's a really high arch there, and you can get usually 3 fingers under there. That means you might have a high arch. Then in the middle is neutral. Now the words for these, a pronated foot or pronation is flat. A supinated foot or a high arch is supination. And then in the middle is neutral. So I'm going to come back up. So if you have someone in the house that can help you figure out what kind of foot you have, the finger test works really well. Can you get some fingers underneath those arches? So that helps you figure out what kind of foot you have. Now, the next thing is, if you have an old pair of shoes or sneakers or Birkenstocks and you know who you are, you might have a wear pattern on the bottom. So I have collected some from friends, families, patients. Now I'm going to show you a couple just to show you what I mean. This older pair in the middle is a really good example. You'll see, can you see that, Jordan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See how this gentleman wears on the outside of his shoes. You'll see there's a wear pattern there. Now another gentleman, this is a pair of men's dress shoes. Not only does he wear on the outside, but if I turn it over, look at that right shoe. He puts a lot of pressure, this is an older pair, through that toe underneath the right foot. We'll go over to a pair of Birkenstocks here. Very similarly, these are worn, but you can see that this lady puts almost wear through the center of one heel and not so much on the other. And if you turn it over, sometimes you'll see a wear pattern under the toes too. So it's a really good idea if you have a pair of shoes, take a look at them. And when you go shopping, bring them with you, because it shows the associate how you walk. Now the next thing to do, when you get to the store, how do you know what to buy? Look at the wall of shoes. If you are a pronator or you have a flat foot, your foot collapses really easily. It's soft. So you need a shoe that's a little more, gives a little more rigid, gives a little more support, has an arch in it. If you're a supinator or someone with a high arch, your foot is really rigid, so you need something a little more cushiony. Okay, so again, figure out what kind of foot you have. Then when you go, if you're waiting for someone to help you, you're looking at the shoes. Pick one off the shelf. There's a test you can do, a fold test and what we call a twist test. Now, this is an older pair of shoes. This is similar to a Skechers. This is actually a Clark, but it's similar to a Skechers. The fold test will show you why you should not use these to walk and run in, because you're going to hurt yourself. If I can take a shoe and I can do this with the bad boy, look at that. That is going to give you no support at all. Now this sneaker is a better sneaker. It's a Saucony, and you'll see I can fold it, but only slightly, and I have to put some effort into folding that. Similarly, the other test is what we call a twist test. If you can wring this out like a dishcloth, it's giving you no support. Watch this. Look what I can do with it. I can totally wring that out. Again, no support in that. Here's a Saucony. You can see I have to put real effort into it to try to twist that. So a fold and a twist test. Now, another thing, take a look at the shoe. When you put it on, if it is tight around here, take it off, put it back on the shelf. Sneakers, runners are not meant to stretch out. Okay, you're not supposed to wear them in. You should put your foot in them and go, ah, that's wonderful. So if it's tight around here, around that part, put it back. When you put it on, you should be able to put between the end of your toe and the end of the shoe a thumb. There should be room for your toes. Because when you walk or you run, your foot actually flattens out and lengthens. In fact, most people don't wear the right size. They wear too small a shoe. So you need room in this shoe as well. The next thing to look for is the heel. This is called the heel cup at the back. It is supposed to support your heel and stabilize your heel. With this Saucony, I can bend it slightly, but not much. Take a look at this other pair. Is this going to give you any support whatsoever? I can bend it, I can twist it. There is no support in the heel there. The next thing, a good pair of sneakers, you should be able to take out the factory made insert. Because a lot of people need an orthotic to go in there. They want a higher arch insert. So a good pair of sneakers, you can take that right out and replace your own. So, when you go shopping, you're armed with some information now. You know your foot. That's great. Take your old shoes with you when you go. The next thing is take the socks you're going to wear. There's no good going in there with a pair of wool socks or a pair of pantyhose. So take the socks that you're going to wear when you go there, okay? Also, when you talk to the associate, tell them your goals. Are you a brand new walker? Do you just want to learn to jog or run? Or are you training for a marathon? That helps the associate figure out what you need as well. Tell the associate what kind of terrain you're going to be on. Are you going to be on pavement? Are you going to be on a track? Are you going to be on rough ground? Again, this helps the sales associate know what kind of grip you need on the bottom. Remember, you're going in with some information about you and your feet. They're the ones that know about the shoes. And you tell them a bit of information, and they're going to say, well, Brooks is no good for you, or Saucony's no good for you. They know the shoes. And that's another little tidbit too. Go to a shoe store that is reputable, that they really know what they're selling, because you do not want to spend $150 to $200 on a pair of good sneakers and have blisters, etc. The last little thing too is remember, shoes, sneakers, even properly fitted, they are not going to fix your gait. They're not going to necessarily fix your knee or your hip issue. If you have knee, hip, low back issues, you limp, you walk funny as such, go to a chiropractor, go to a physiotherapist if you want to get serious about walking or running, because we can assess your gait. We can take a look at you and say, you know, this muscle's weaker than this, we have to work on this knee, and then you should start running. Just don't go out, buy a flimsy pair of runners and start running, because you'll end up seeing us anyway, because you're going to hurt yourself. So hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of information. I know it's a lot of information to take in, but if it helps you when you're going shopping, etc., then I've done my job today. Any questions or anything, Jordan? Anything to add?
No, that's awesome.
Okay, we're good to go. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.